This is news you can use. I scour the internet so you don't have to. First, let's start with Goldman Sachs. Goldman Sachs raised their S&P 500 year-end target to 3,600. Yes, 3,600. If you guys remember, when we were in March, around March 20th, Goldman came out with a price target of 1,800 for the S&P. Now they've doubled that estimate. You see, people forget very fast what happened, and they go with the trend. So let's see if Goldman is right or Goldman is wrong, like they were wrong in March. Then we have Tommy Lee, my favorite perma bull. Tommy Lee is never short the market. Tommy Lee has been right for the last 8 to 10 years. Now Tommy Lee comes out with a 3,525 S&P target for the end of the year. Fundstrat's analyst Tommy Lee, he's very bullish. He's always bullish. Will he be right? I don't know. It seems crazy to me to hit 35.25. Now let's take a look at GDP growth rates around the world. Look at these hits. The US took a hit of 9% for its second quarter GDP. Spain 20%, UK, France 20%, Mexico 19%. The coronavirus had a hugely negative impact on all the world's economies in the second quarter. Now everybody thinks the economies are going to rebound in the third and fourth quarter. They are. I think they're going to bounce back, but not as hard as people think. And I don't think the stock market has priced that in. So if we don't get huge rebounds, who knows where the stock markets are going to be in the next 3 or 4 months. Now, here is something disturbing. 32% of US households missed their July housing payments. What? Weren't all these people getting free money from the government and from the Fed? Weren't they getting $600 extra on top of their unemployment money? What is going to happen to leases and payments and mortgages when these people find out they don't have a job to come back and there's no more government money coming in their checking accounts? This is going to be a big problem in the future. Wow. Now, my investing hero of all times, Warren Buffett, has made some crazy move this year. Remember, at the beginning of the year when the coronavirus hit, Warren got out of all the airline stocks he had. Now, Warren is making a humongous switch, something we have never ever seen before. He is getting into gold and out of banks. Warren Buffett has always been a big bank investor, huge bank investor, and now he's getting out of the banks to get into gold mining stocks like Barrick Gold. Here we can see that Berkshire cut its stake in Wells Fargo, then took a stake on Barrick Gold, and then cut 2 of his most iconic investments, Goldman Sachs and JP Morgan. Wow, this is a big shift for the big guy. I really am amazed at this news. Now, let's take a look at the S&P valuation metric, price to forward revenue. We all know the S&P is overvalued by any measure, price to GDP, price to earnings, price to growth. Now, but let's take a look at this graph. The S&P has never been more expensive, price to forward revenue. What does this mean? That means that investors have never paid so much money for future revenue of S&P 500 companies. What happens if the revenue doesn't come and the market is valued such a high price? We could get a huge correction just on valuation. But it hasn't happened yet, so let's keep rolling and keep making money. And lastly, we are all waiting for the coronavirus vaccine. And here is an article from the New York Times that gives us an overview of the amount of vaccines that are in the works. We have almost 170 vaccines that are being worked on. 2 have gotten limited approval. The most noteworthy one was in Russia, where they got an approval for their first vaccine. And I'm actually waiting for Johnson & Johnson, AstraZeneca, and Moderna to come out with the first really, really proven vaccines that come out of phase 3. And maybe when we get these vaccines, we can start getting our lives back and traveling and eating at restaurants and enjoying all the things that we used to enjoy before the pandemic. Thank you very much for watching. Please, on the comment section below, let me know if this is something that is of value to you and is something that you would like me to keep doing. And please click like, click subscribe, and remember, you gotta risk it to get the biscuit.